Here's the thing most guys don't realize. When a woman is nervous around you, it can mean she's into you. It's easy to mistake her jitters for disinterest, but the truth is, those little fidgety movements or shy smiles might be her way of saying, "I'm attracted to you," without coming right out and saying it. But how do you read these signals? Well, that's what we're going to break down today. How to spot the subtle signs she's nervous and interested. These are the cues most men miss. The eyes have it. Let's start with the eyes, because they're one of the biggest giveaways. Now, you've probably heard that eye contact is a sign of attraction, but what about when she avoids it? If she's not looking you directly in the eyes, but she's still engaged in the conversation, that's a big clue. She might be glancing away because holding your gaze feels too intense, too personal. It's almost like her nervous system is in overdrive. Her brain is saying, "Don't blow it," so she glances away to regain composure. But here's the trick. Watch for quick glances back. If she looks away but then checks back in with you, she's not disengaging. She's processing her feelings. That little flicker of eye contact followed by a shy smile, goldmine. She's interested but nervous, which means she's investing in the interaction but playing it cautiously. Fidgeting, but in a good way. Ever notice a woman playing with her hair or adjusting her clothes when she's talking to you? This isn't just a random habit. It's a subconscious signal that she's feeling a little self-conscious because she wants to impress you. When a woman is nervous and attracted, her body is trying to work off that anxious energy. Fidgeting is like a physical outlet for her internal excitement. Hair twirling, adjusting jewelry, or even picking at the hem of her shirt. All signs that she's aware of how she looks and cares about what you think. If she's crossing and uncrossing her legs or adjusting her seating position frequently, that's her trying to settle herself because you're making her feel a bit jittery, but in a good way. One thing most guys don't realize is that fidgeting isn't a sign of boredom. Quite the opposite. When a woman's nervous and interested, her body almost betrays her. She wants to come across as cool and collected, but those little movements give away her attraction. The tilted head and leaning in. Okay, here's one that flies under the radar, but is actually a huge indicator, the head tilt. If she's tilting her head while listening to you, she's not just being polite. It's a sign of engagement. When we tilt our heads, we expose a vulnerable part of our neck. It's a subconscious gesture that signals trust and openness. But it gets better. If she's also leaning in slightly, even when she's nervous, that's her way of showing that she's trying to bridge the gap between you two. She might be nervous, sure, but her body language is saying, "I want to be closer to you." So, if you're picking up on head tilts combined with a lean in, even if she's fidgeting or avoiding eye contact, you're definitely in the right zone. Mirroring movements, but shyly. Ever noticed how people start to mimic each other when they're getting along? It's called mirroring, and it's a strong sign of rapport. Now, when she's nervous and attracted, she might not do this as confidently as someone who's completely comfortable, but subtle mirroring is still there. She'll start to match your posture, maybe cross her legs when you do, or touch her face if you touch yours. But here's the thing. When she's nervous, her mirroring will be a bit delayed, almost like she's second-guessing herself. This hesitation shows that she's hyper-aware of you and is adjusting her behavior based on how the interaction is going. If you see her copying your movements, even in small ways, she's trying to establish a connection but doesn't want to come off as too obvious. Playing with personal space. Personal space is tricky, especially when nerves are involved. A woman who's nervous but interested will do this dance with personal space. She might lean in, then pull back, almost as if she's testing the waters. This push-pull dynamic is a clear sign she's trying to gauge how close she can get to you without making things uncomfortable for herself. What's interesting is that while she might move back, she won't actually increase the distance between you for long. She'll come back into your personal bubble, even if it's subtle, like leaning in when you're talking or brushing up against you accidentally. It's her way of saying, "I'm comfortable with you," but in a hesitant, testing the waters kind of way. The subtle touches, when she can't help herself. Here's a little secret. When a woman is nervous and interested, her body will sometimes act without her mind's permission. This is when those accidental touches come into play. She might brush her hand against yours when reaching for something, or place her hand on your arm while making a point in conversation. These touches aren't always accidental. They're more of a nervous impulse. Her body is trying to communicate what she's too shy to say out loud. If these touches happen more than once, or if she lets them linger a little longer than necessary, she's not just being friendly. She's testing the waters, seeing how you'll react without fully committing to anything overt. Laughter as a nervous release. Nervous laughter is something every guy needs to be aware of. It's not about the joke being funny. It's about releasing the tension she feels because of her attraction. If you notice her giggling at things that aren't really that humorous, it's a sign that she's using laughter to cope with her nervousness around you. Even more telling is when she starts laughing after her own awkward moments. For example, if she spills a drink or fumbles over her words and then laughs, she's showing you that she's aware of her own nervousness and trying to shake it off. It's a good sign because it means she cares about how she comes across and doesn't want you to think less of her for being flustered. The leg bounce. Here's something most guys overlook. You know, that subtle bouncing of the leg that happens when someone is sitting and feeling a bit anxious. If she's doing this, it's not because she's bored, it's because she's excited and nervous at the same time. Her body is burning off that anxious energy, and the leg bounce is a surefire sign she's feeling the tension of the moment. What's important here is to look at when this happens. If you're having a more intense or flirty conversation and the leg bounce kicks in, it's because she's processing the emotional charge between you two. It's her body's way of handling the excitement and nerves. The lip bite, a nervous flirtation. The lip bite, classic and easy to miss. When a woman bites or presses her lips together, especially mid-conversation, it's a telltale sign she's nervous but attracted. It's a subtle, self-soothing gesture that reveals she's trying to keep her cool. Think of it as her body's way of channeling all that anxious energy into something small and controlled. Here's the kicker. If she bites her lip while fidgeting or avoiding eye contact, she's definitely feeling the tension between you two. It's a fleeting yet powerful sign of attraction mixed with nervous excitement. The nervous smile, more than just politeness. A nervous smile is easy to misinterpret. You might think she's just being polite, but there's more to it. If she's smiling but her body language shows tension, like stiff shoulders or fidgeting, she's likely feeling both attraction and nervousness. This kind of smile tends to appear when she's trying to impress you but feels unsure of how she's coming across. It's not just friendliness. It's her way of covering up the butterflies in her stomach. A nervous smile paired with other cues like a quick glance away or a soft laugh. She's definitely into you. The blushing effect, a natural giveaway. Blushing is one of those reactions she can't control, and it's a major sign she's feeling both nervous and attracted. If you notice her cheeks turning a little pink while you're talking, that's her body giving away what she's trying to hide. She's flustered because she's into you. Blushing often happens when she's feeling self-conscious, especially in a flirty or intense moment. It's one of the most genuine signs of nervous attraction, so if you spot that rosy glow, take it as a compliment. What's key here is context. If you've just made her laugh, paid her a compliment, or moved the conversation into more personal territory, and she starts blushing, it's not because she's embarrassed in a bad way. Her body's reacting to the emotional charge between you two, and she's feeling the heat, literally. The shoulder shrug, hiding in plain sight. Another subtle but telling sign is the shoulder shrug. If she's shrugging or pulling her shoulders up slightly during your conversation, it's often a way to make herself seem smaller or less vulnerable. Kind of like a defense mechanism when she's feeling nervous. It's her body's way of saying, I'm not totally comfortable yet, but I'm still here because I'm interested. This movement often happens when a woman is feeling a little shy, but wants to stay engaged. If she's pulling her shoulders up and tilting her head at the same time, it's a mix of both nervousness and attraction. It's almost like she's wrapping herself up, but she's not leaving the interaction, which is a big clue that she's invested. So don't mistake this move for disinterest. It's actually her way of managing the emotional intensity of being around you. All right, my guy, now that you've got the inside scoop on how to spot when she's nervous but interested, you're ahead of the game. If this helped clear things up for you, hit that like button so we know we're on the right track. And hey, don't forget to subscribe. I've got more tips coming your way to help you decode even more of what women aren't saying out loud.